Both a couple quality big men, and as is our want through the rest of the tournament, big men like to see where the other guy's at. Not a lot of shooting, not a lot of down low shots, so what we're going to see is a lot of battle for position, a lot of battle for control, and put pressure on the back. An effective heavyweight is going to be putting pressure on the top of the head, trying to wear down his opponent and make him get tired. And so we'll see who can do the better job of making that strategy work as we begin the first 30 seconds of this championship round.
We have two pretty evenly matched competitors as far as loss records go. Freeman has only 3 losses on this, and Hola has only 4. But Freeman has had about 9 extra matches. He comes to us with a record of 28-3, and Hola has a record of 19-4. We'll see if this extra experience has a factor in today's match.
Both wrestlers come from great wrestling traditions, not only in the schools. A whole lot part of that great Olympus group that, under the direction of Dave Vanavigator, are really starting to make some noise, ranking up in the top 5 as we go into the championship. So that program is really on the upsurge, putting some guys in the finals this year, and really starting to make people be aware of what's going on at Olympus High School. Also, Dan comes from a great family of athletes. Molinai Hola, a great defensive back for University of Utah, and Dan's the youngest of that family. So great tradition of family athletics, as well as the Freemans. Mark is a younger brother of a great wrestler out of Orem, state champion. His older brother wrestled well there. So younger brothers come from traditions of battling as little guys, a lot of physicalness as they're growing up, and so always you see a great tradition come when you got families where brothers like to battle and like to learn the skills and sport of wrestling. And we end the first round there, no score, just a lot of pushing, pulling, a lot of wearing down, trying to make that back tired, trying to get the other opponent into a position where he can make a mistake. And so choice comes, no score, good strategy here on the part of Freeman. Freeman's going to go down and try to score from underneath and gain that first point in case we get into that overtime. There it is, 1 point. So the first offensive point scored by Freeman from Orem. That'll give him an advantage later if we get into an overtime match with the change of rules here a couple years ago. The first offensive point gets a choice in double overtime as to position. And so he did a good job being aware of where he was at the end of the round. Took that first spot and got that first offensive point. Here again, ear to ear. Don't like to see our wrestlers too deep. Ear to ear isn't as good as head to head, but there's a lot of pressure being put on both wrestlers, trying to wear them down and create an opportunity for somebody to leave an opening and the other guy to get a shot in on the leg or something. So just a lot of work, and notice the pressure. Hola likes to come up, lock up around the head, put both. There's a lot of pressure there, and Freeman's doing a good job of breaking that.
Freeman has beat some great wrestlers to get here to the finals. The number 1 seed was beaten in the second round of the tournament, but then in the semifinals, Freeman was able to knock the guy that beat him, and so he's had a tough road to the finals.
As you know, in Utah, we go by seed based on the region tournament, and so Freeman came into the tournament in the number 4 seeded spot on the tough side of the bracket, and so he had to come up through wrestling, a great wrestler out of American Fork, as well as Dan's JV guy, Mike Price. So he has had a tough road to go, but Hola coming out of the number 3 spot in the seed, and he had to get past a great Mountain Crest wrestler to make it to these finals. So both wrestlers doing a good job in the tournament as we approach the end of the second round. Right now, just a lot of action on top, a lot of action in the tie, pretty much a Greco kind of a big guy kind of a strategy right now, trying to get somebody tired, trying to get some opening, and trying to get an opportunity to get in on the leg or around the body or some kind of a shot. So pretty evenly wrestled at this point. And of course, Freeman's up with the 1-0 score. Here we're going to the third round. Hola knows what he needs to do, immediately taking that down position, and he's going to work for that escape. And if the strategy works, I think as evenly matched as these two guys are, you'll probably get that score and we'll be tied up here, not too distant future.
This is a great heavyweight match. Heavyweight matches tend to be not as close as this one is, and so it's real exciting to see two big guys battling this close, and now it's tied up.
That's a good job coming to his feet on the part of Dan. And again, look, he's working on that head. Not able to keep distance and keep pressure on the head, but even though he's coming in tight in that ear-to-ear, elbow-to-elbow kind of a position where you really want to stay away from because it ties you up too tight and you can't create openings. You can't get to those underhooks and those other things. And here we see Orem's coaches raising his hands going, hey, wait a minute, what's going on? What do we see happening here? Of course, now we're in the third round of the state championship, and now since we're tied score, the corners are starting to get some pressure to the refs to interject themselves into the stall call. But both wrestlers are working hard, but there's not any active shooting going on here. Oh, here we're going to go a warning stall call. Paul Dart warns both wrestlers. Pretty easy call to make. See what happens if he steps up and dings one or two of the other guys, see what they're going on. So I think the pressure's starting to come on. Here's a Freeman trying to get an undershot, but it's hard to get out from all that pressure, that down pressure on the back of his head that Hola's putting on there. So here we continue to go. Both wrestlers now have been going at it pretty solid, and so we're seeing the fatigue factor start to work in here. At this point, I think Freeman's trying to work a little bit. I would grade him a little bit ahead on the offensive side of things, but Hola's being pretty tough and continuing to keep that pressure on that head. And of course, that responds by oh, nice shuck down, nice shuck down and move, but we go out of bounds. Excellent job by Freeman, but didn't score any points. So back to center we go. At this point, I'd say Freeman's being a little more offensive than Hola. They're again trying to break that and put him into a move. The last time he broke that lock, and Hola gets on that head, that double lock behind the neck that he's doing, and that could be seen as a stalling tactic because repeatedly going to the same move, rule says repeatedly going to the same move without advancing or improving your position can be construed as stalling. So 1 second, 2 seconds left. Here we go. We're done. That's the regulation time. We're tied up 1-1. We got 1 minute to go. At this point, I think the momentum's coming towards Freeman a little bit. He seems to be a little more active. Hola repeatedly going to that back try. See if he does it again. That's like the fourth, fifth time in a row. That could be construed as stalling. There goes. Locked it again. So he's repeatedly going to the same move without advancing beyond that. And then Freeman tries to break on that, but I don't think Dart's going to make a stalling call and make a decision. I think he's going to wait it out and let these guys decide it.
This last 35 seconds could be interesting because we've got one heavyweight wrestler who's a really aggressive, has some really slick moves for a big guy, and versus another one that's really defensive and like pound on that head a lot, as you've mentioned before.
Well, we're not seeing a lot of change. Here we go. Freeman trying to break off that. Now it's, and this is an interesting situation because now Hola looks to Hola's advantage, or looks to continue lock around that head, keep pressure, and the pressure on the top of the head wears the back out. We see Hola being cleaned up there in the corner with Dave Vanavigate and Bob Calla, his coach. Calla talking about trying to get something underneath, trying to get an underhook going. He's got to get off of that singular move. But this actually could play to Hola's disadvantage because he's done a good job of keeping that pressure and wearing Freeman out. And Freeman is now having time to rest and refreshing himself as he kind of helps clean up the mat. But what he'll do is able to get his wind back. So all of that pounding that Hola was doing to try to create an opportunity for an opening, blood time. So Freeman, I think, based on the ability that I'm seeing Freeman to break those ties, I think he's probably got the better shot in terms of being able to get in and get either in around the waist or into a single leg position or something that would be work to an advantage. So here we are with 14 seconds left. We're in overtime in the 4A state championship. We got a 1-1 tie. We got two athletes very evenly matched, and one's trying to wear the other guy down, and Freeman's trying to break through that. So we'll see what happens. Here we go, 14 seconds. Dart and Birmingham, one of our great refs from down south. Birmingham takes a look. They're talking it over. Tight hold by Hola and his tough head probably is going to work to his disadvantage because Freeman's had a chance to catch his wind now in that blood time. So here we go. Now Hola knows he's got to get underneath, trying to make something motion. 2 seconds, 1 second. Now we're out of time. He knew he had to make something work because now in overtime, here we go. Freeman's got that choice, going back to that rule first choice in the is given to the offensive score, and Freeman had that. So here we go. See if we can get out of there. 30 seconds to escape to a state championship. On his feet, battle out.
Got it.
Done deal. There we go. Great heavyweight battle. Not a lot of action, but a lot of strategy.